Well, hello. It's exciting to have the season here. I think we've been, waiting a long time, and after being one of the few sports that really lost a season last year, we're fresh and excited to go. I know this is worn on some people with COVID and how different the season feels, but from our perspective, after you lose a season, don't get to play in the Big Ten at all last year. I think our group is, they're young but excited and ready to go, and whatever hoops we have to jump through to get to play. I think, spring training's in the air and everybody's starting to think about baseball and softball again. So we're thrilled to open up the season here this week.
We have a question from Alec.
Hi, Coach. It feels like we haven't seen you in forever. I hope all is well. Does it feel different the way that this is? It's a Big Ten kind of only season, but you are still, going down to Florida, which you kind of would normally be doing. Does it feel different at all, the way that this is laid out?
Oh, certainly feels different that we haven't played the first 2 weeks of the season. I think, during this time of year, I'm normally trying to get my runs in before games in Arizona or California. And, we're roughing it out here like the rest of the Madisonians, running in the snowy weather. And so that, that looks and feels different. We graduated and lost a giant group last year too. And so that part is, it's hard because we just love that group. And they were such a talented senior class that really, the first group to ever go to 3 NCAA tournaments in a row. So we're young this year, but youth is fun. For any of you that have young kids in your house, that they'll make you a little crazy when you're dealing with it, but they make you laugh and they are just fun to work with and make better.
We have a question from Todd.
Hey, Yvette. I wonder how your lineup looks and how you fill in a gap then with, Kayla Conrad was obviously such a force in your lineup for the last few years. One, can you talk about replacing those elements and how you do it? And two, what Kayla's decision-making was like in deciding, whether it was time for her to be done, go to grad school, do whatever she was contemplating toward the end of last year.
Well, there's no way you can't replace Kayla Conway. When you have a first team All-American or a Big Ten Player of the Year, we just loved every moment we had with her. So, I have to say I've got to be grateful for some of the advice that I've gotten from being at Wisconsin of making sure that you give some great in-state players an option and an opportunity, because I think we'll never rely more on some of the in-state walk-ons and the local talent like we will this year. And I think for a lot of people, that's scary. If you could have a 5th-year All-American back or some, in-state walk-ons that are young, everybody's always going to say the All-American, but, from a coaching standpoint, the thrill of finding players that just wanted a chance to play at this level and them having a chance to step on the field this year when, you're going to see 5th-year seniors all across the board and play against teams with a lot of scholarships. And so we know we're up against it that way, but the youth side, it's going to be really fun to see those players get an opportunity. And, I think if you'd like to cheer for underdogs, you got another team to cheer for this year.
Additional questions for Coach Healy. Coach, can you talk to us about what the structure will be like down in Florida? It's a little different than some of our normal kind of opening season tournaments, although the warm weather, I'm sure, will be nice. Can you just share that with us?
Sure. We always play a tough schedule, but I've never had a schedule where it was all Power 5 teams. So there's always been, a mix of, you might face a top 5 or a top 20 team, a couple of them, and then there's some relief. And, when you play a Big Ten only schedule, the cool part is there's no relief. It's all great competition straight through. And so I think that's the part that everyone's most excited about. And also the conference has, an East and a West unofficially, and we don't play those teams in the East as much. And we're excited to see them. I think sometimes it's hard to see how you match up in conference when you don't play everyone and you're trying to feel like, where do we land? And so right out of the gate to get to play some of those teams that we don't always see is tremendous. So, Big Ten only, 6 games in a weekend's a lot. So, for any pitcher to try to get a doubleheader, we don't typically play that way. And the second week in Florida, you'll see a 3-game series with Ohio State and a 3-game series with Michigan. So, I mean, that's like a super regional weekend. So from a talent standpoint and a challenge, every game is going to be so exciting. Any game you can win is a really big deal.